Okay, welcome to today's class. If you get a chance, put it on pause and read our disclaimer. Okay, tonight's class is on stress. A lot of times we talk about stress and laugh about stress and even say, oh man, I'm so stressed, without even realizing what it can do to our body and to especially our nervous systems. So that's what we're going to be covering tonight. How to protect our nervous systems and how to repair our nervous systems after stress. Okay, first, I guess the thing we have to start out with is learning a little bit about the nervous system. Whenever I think about the nervous system, I think about a wire. You have like an extension wire or whatever. A wire conducts electricity through a copper wire. On the outside of the wire is a plastic coating that keeps it from shorting out, protecting it, and so on. Our nervous system also conducts electricity. And it has a coating on it called the myelin sheathing. And this coating is made of fatty acids and cholesterol. So I'm going to go over a few little functions of the myelin sheathing. One is it is made up 70% of fats and cholesterol. So having enough fats and having your cholesterol at a high enough number is extremely important. It covers
Mary, would that be the good cholesterol number or the bad cholesterol number? It has to be high.
Actually, both need to be high. They need to be balanced. So I would have at least 200 of total cholesterol and 65 of that being the HDL, or what people call the good cholesterol.
Okay.
Okay? Good question. All right. These fats are found in the brain and the spinal cord and around every nerve in your body. And this is something that's really, really important. Some places say that it stores, but all places say that it determines the potential of the release of something called neurotransmitters. We're going to get into that a lot more in the coming pages. All right. Other things that the myelin sheathing do is it protects the nerve. The actual nerve is in the middle of that. It protects it from sound. If someone's myelin sheathing is too thin, after a while, things will get on their nerves very easily. Every little sound, every little bang. If you're sitting in a restaurant and somebody drops a thing of a tray, some people go, and other people just kind of look over and say, oh, what was that? Well, a lot of it has to do with the thickness of their myelin sheathing. Or if you have your grandson pounding on a pot and pan right next to you, it might get on your nerves, while some other people can just kind of tune it out. So one of it is acts like a buffer to sound. Another thing that the myelin sheathing does is it keeps bacteria and viruses from being able to get to the actual nerve. If this is very thin, a person might get something like Bell's palsy or shingles. These are both two conditions that allow a virus to get to the nerve. Any questions so far?
Nope. But it sounds like this myelin sheathing really has a big job.
It does. It really does. Now, unlike a copper wire, which is a solid line, our nervous system is both electrical and chemical. The brain, for instance, say we want to lock our door. The brain will cause an electrical impulse, which releases a chemical. It is sucked up, then it goes to the nerves as electrical. In the gap, it'll be chemical, electrical, chemical, electrical, chemical, until your hand locks the door. After that happens, the sensation of you locking the door produces electrochemical, until it gets the brain and tells the brain, mission is accomplished. You know, I've had people already say, well, I don't think we're electrical. That's new stuff to me. Well, actually, a lot of people, whenever they're having problem with their opening a door or locking a door or something like that, the doctors might test their electric impulses by something called an EEG, electroencephalogram. Or most people know this one. If you get a heart attack or you want to see about your heart, they can test the electricity of your heart by something called electrocardiogram. So this is what we're talking about. The electrical part is through the nerves. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, every time the neurotransmitters are released, some of it goes back into the original ganglia, and I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. But in between extreme emotions or constant emotions, the body will have an excess of this. So the excess is cleaned out. This is a metaphor. It's a sponge to let you know that it cleans out in between the synapse. So this is how it actually happens. The electrical impulse goes down to the end of the axon. It releases the chemical, and most of it is drawn into the next nerve. However, some of it goes back into the original, and some of it is cleaned out by the body.
Cleaned out?
It's reuptaken through the lymphatic system.
Oh, so it just kind of gets absorbed by it?
Right.
Okay.
Right. If there's anything left in between. So like right now, if there's anything left in between, the body would clean it out.
Okay.
Right. There are a whole line of drugs called reuptake inhibitors. They have some that manipulate dopamine and some that inhibit serotonin. And this is generally how they work. Whenever the body releases the chemicals, the neurotransmitters, instead of it being able to go back into the original axon, the body will block that ability. Well, not the body, the drug, like Prozac, Luvox, Paxil, those kind of drugs, Wellbutrin, will keep it from being able to be pulled back into the body. And they do that in hopes that the next impulse will have more of the chemical. Because some conditions, for instance OCD, happen because of lack of neurotransmitters. So they're doing this in hopes of making available more neurotransmitters. Which sounds not too bad in theory, but there's a flaw, and we're going to go over that now.